Welcome. You are about to embark on a deep dive into something that's it's not just a buzzword anymore, is it? It's a foundational shift transforming the global economy. Artificial intelligence.
Mm.
This isn't just about fancy new tools. It's really about reshaping workflows, redefining roles, and frankly, creating unprecedented value.
Indeed. Think of it like the Industrial Revolution maybe, but happening at, an incredibly accelerated pace, warp speed almost.
Today, we're unpacking a really comprehensive analysis titled Future-Proofing Careers with AI. Our mission really is to pull out the most critical insights to help you understand what's happening, what's coming, and most importantly, how you can thrive in this new landscape. Now, I imagine many listening might feel a bit of trepidation right now, because on one hand, you hear these alarming projections. Goldman Sachs, for instance, they projected generative AI could impact the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs globally. That's huge.
Massive number.
And McKinsey and Company suggest up to 30% of all hours worked in the U.S. and Europe could be automated by 2030. Sounds pretty daunting, right?
It absolutely does. And here's where it gets really fascinating. This disruption also promises just immense value creation. We're talking an estimated $13 trillion in additional global economic activity by 2030, mostly through productivity gains. So, yes, a big shakeup, definitely, but also this massive opportunity.
So how do we square that circle, this paradox? Our central thesis today really isn't about human obsolescence, not at all. It's about human augmentation. It's more like a collaborative partnership, human and machine working together.
Exactly. The augmented professional, that's the strategic objective for all of us, really. This is someone who, strategically integrates AI, uses it to automate the mundane stuff, enhance their analytical power, and really free up cognitive resources.
Focus on the human stuff.
Right. The uniquely human capabilities like critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence. This deep dive is essentially your guide to becoming that kind of professional.
Okay, so we've set the stage, this incredible paradox of AI. Huge disruption, huge value. Now, let's really dig into how this transformation is unfolding right now. What does it mean for the millions of jobs already feeling these ripples? How big is this wave, actually?
Well, think globally. About one quarter, maybe 25% of all current work tasks could probably be automated with the technology we already have.
Just with existing tech?
Yeah. And then add generative AI, the kind that creates new content, text, images, code.
Like ChatGPT and tools like that?
Exactly. With that, the figure climbs closer to 30% of all hours worked in the U.S. and Europe by 2030. It's a significant chunk of the workday.
A staggering amount of working hours. But you mentioned job churn earlier, not just simple replacement. Can you unpack that a bit? It sounds less like a one-for-one swap and more like a really turbulent transition period.
That's a great way to put it. Turbulent transition. The World Economic Forum, they project that by 2030, yes, technological shifts will create about 170 million new jobs.
Okay, new jobs created.
But at the same time, displace around 92 million others. And so you get a net increase overall.
Right.
But the crucial point is the turbulence of that transition. It's not just the number of jobs changing, it's the type of jobs and the skills needed. They're shifting really, really rapidly.
So the WEF thinks that by 2027, that's really soon, about 23% of all jobs will change, with, 69 million new roles emerging, but 83 million being eliminated.
That's the projection.
That's a huge shift in just a few years. It really underscores that core challenge you mentioned, redeployment and reskilling. Millions of people might need to switch occupations entirely.
It absolutely does. We're looking at potentially nearly 12 million workers in the U.S. and Europe needing to switch occupations by 2030. That's basically double the rate we saw pre-pandemic in Europe.
Wow.
The sheer scale of these occupational transitions, it's pretty unprecedented.
Okay, if that's the big picture of job churn, the next logical question for anyone listening is, what does this mean for my day-to-day work? Which specific tasks are, on the chopping block, so to speak?
Yeah. Great question. AI really excels at tasks that are, rules-based, repetitive, procedural, or things involving very structured data. Like data entry, managing calendars, basic bookkeeping, tracking expenses, the kind of stuff that, let's be honest, often feels like a bit of a drag on your day anyway.
Yeah, the admin burden. But it's not just the really basic stuff, is it? Are we talking about even roles like junior paralegals or maybe first-pass marketing copywriters being affected? Things that seemed to need a bit more human judgment before.
Absolutely. Tasks like junior paralegal research, drafting that initial marketing copy, reconciling invoices, these are definitely prime candidates for automation now. And what's truly transformative here, as we touched on, is how generative AI has dramatically expanded this scope. Models like the ones powering ChatGPT, previously things like language, reasoning, content creation, they felt like safe, uniquely human domains. Now, these large language models, LLMs, can summarize articles, draft professional-sounding emails, even generate pretty creative content outlines.
That's huge.
It's incredibly significant because
Yeah.
language-based tasks make up something like 62% of total employee work time. So LLMs could potentially impact as much as 40% of all working hours. It's really shifting the goalpost on what we consider safe from automation.
There's often this perception, isn't there, that AI is mainly a threat to blue-collar jobs, factory floors, warehouses. But what do our sources say about the impact on white-collar professions? Is that perception wrong?
It's definitely a misconception. Yeah, our sources show a profound reshaping of white-collar professions happening right now across the board. Sectors like law, finance, media, technology. They're all significantly affected.
How so?
Well, in law, you see AI handling routine document analysis, which frees up or maybe displaces paralegals and junior associates. In finance, it's doing sophisticated fraud detection, entry-level analysis. It's changing what those entry-level roles even look like.
So in media, for example, generative AI is automating content creation, subtitling, translation. It sounds like it's creating this kind of human-AI hybrid workflow that might push out a lot of junior roles.
Precisely. That hybrid model is becoming common.
And here's where it gets particularly, thought-provoking. MIT economist David Otter warns the main danger isn't necessarily mass unemployment,
Right.
but the devaluation of expert skills.
Exactly. As AI makes moderately complex cognitive skills, things you might have spent years learning, abundant and cheap, their market value just plummets.
Your expertise becomes a commodity.
That's the risk. Imagine your hard-won skills suddenly available at almost no cost. This could lead to what some are calling a kind of Mad Max economic scenario.
Mad Max, that sounds intense.
Well, it means extreme wage polarization. Wealth gets concentrated among those who own and control the AI systems, while many others could be pushed into lower-skill, lower-wage service jobs.
Oof.
And it means higher education, traditional credentials, they might no longer guarantee immunity like they used to.
It's a real paradox then. These
Yeah.
massive productivity gains, that $13 trillion figure by 2030, are intrinsically tied to this really deep, potentially painful job churn.
Absolutely. And the WEF, they consistently project more jobs created than destroyed.
Yeah.
Like 97 million new roles emerging versus maybe 85 million displaced by 2025 was one projection.
Okay, so more jobs overall, but
But the core challenge, as you said, is that severe skills mismatch. It demands massive reskilling efforts, which is a huge undertaking for individuals, companies, governments, everyone.
so what's the practical takeaway here for you listening right now?
The crucial realization, I think, for any professional is that the fundamental unit of this AI-driven disruption, it's not the job itself, it's the task.
Spot on.
Your entire profession probably won't vanish overnight. It's those specific routine activities within it that get automated or augmented.
That's exactly right. Think of a lawyer. Their whole role isn't eliminated, but maybe the hours they spend on routine document review shrink dramatically. So the strategic imperative isn't really about finding some mythical AI-proof job, because those are getting harder and harder to define.
Instead, it's about actively curating your role, focusing on AI-resistant tasks, things needing complex judgment, empathy, real creativity, while strategically using AI to augment or automate the rest.
So the goal is to cultivate a skill set that actually commands a premium in this new AI-augmented economy.
That's the game plan.
Okay, given that framework task vulnerability, can we zero in on some specific roles and sectors that are feeling the heat most intensely right now? Who's really at the forefront of this disruption?
Let's get practical. Administrative and office support roles are highly vulnerable. Think data entry, scheduling, routine email drafting. If it's a predictable, repetitive admin task, AI is likely getting good at it.
In customer service, I know that's been transformed by chatbots and AI. Gartner apparently predicts 95% of interactions will be AI-powered by 2025. That's almost everything.
It's huge, yeah. Manufacturing and warehousing, they've been targets for automation for a while, right? But AI is accelerating this. Oxford Economics forecast up to 20 million manufacturing jobs replaced globally by robots by 2030.
20 million.
Yeah. We're seeing warehouses now where AI-powered robots handle picking, packing, sorting.
And I imagine transportation and logistics, especially driving jobs,
Yeah,
face threats from autonomous vehicles. That seems like a significant chunk of that industry could be reshaped.
definitely. One study estimated nearly 300,000 long-distance truck driving jobs are at risk just in the U.S.
Wow.
And for folks in creative fields, or those dealing with data, entry-level content generation and data processing are directly impacted by generative AI. Junior copywriters, proofreaders, translators, even basic graphic designers, they're seeing AI produce decent first drafts now.
It changes the entry point for those careers, doesn't it?
Completely. And in finance and accounting, routine tasks like bookkeeping, invoice reconciliation, highly susceptible. The UK's Office for National Statistics suggested over 25% of chartered accountants are at high risk. It just shows this cuts across so many different sectors.
Okay, so that's the at-risk side of the equation. How do we flip that coin? What are the inherent qualities, the core attributes that make a role inherently resistant to AI? What makes us uniquely human and, hopefully, indispensable?
It really boils down to those uniquely human capabilities. First, I'd say empathy and emotional intelligence.
Okay.
The ability to build trust, provide genuine emotional support, navigate sensitive interpersonal situations. AI just can't replicate the comforting presence of a nurse or the nuanced guidance of a good therapist. It can't feel.
That makes total sense. What's next?
Second, complex problem solving and critical thinking, navigating ambiguity, making judgment calls when you don't have all the data, resolving ethical dilemmas. AI crunches data brilliantly, but it struggles with those messy, uniquely human problems. It can't really weigh consequences in the same way we do.
Right, the gray areas.
Exactly. Third, creativity and originality. Sure, AI can recombine existing patterns in amazing ways to generate variation.
Yeah, some outputs are stunning.
They can be,
Right.
but it lacks true originality, the kind that stems from unique lived experiences, a distinct artistic vision, a personal story. It doesn't have that spark of a truly new idea born from human consciousness.
Okay, and four?
A very practical one. Physical dexterity in unpredictable environments. Think skilled trades.
Yeah.
Electricians, plumbers.
Right.
They handle complex, non-repetitive tasks in constantly changing, often messy physical settings. That dynamic interaction with the physical world is exceptionally challenging for current robotics. No robots crawling under your sink to fix a leak anytime soon.
Good point. And finally,
Finally, high stakes, nuanced decision-making and leadership. Things like formulating a complex business strategy, making a persuasive legal argument in court, or delivering a life-altering medical diagnosis.
Yeah.
These require a level of accountability, ethical reasoning, and holistic judgment that machines just don't possess, and leadership itself. Fundamentally, it's about inspiring and motivating other humans, which needs deep emotional intelligence. You can't lead code.
based on those qualities then, where can we expect to see continued growth and stability? Where are these sort of AI-proof sanctuaries, if they exist?
Well, patient-facing roles in healthcare seem very resilient. AI can assist with diagnostics, sure, but the empathy, the trust, the communication skills of doctors, nurses, therapists, they remain fundamental, irreplaceable.
And the demand is growing there too, right?
Absolutely. McKinsey forecasts a 17% to 30% increase in demand for health professionals by 2030. It shows how much that human touch is valued.
What else?
Education. Teachers fostering critical thinking, social emotional skills, providing mentorship. These functions are deeply relational. You can't automate genuine mentorship in a meaningful way.
Makes sense.
Human resources and leadership roles. They're centered on managing people, requiring profound emotional and social intelligence for things like conflict resolution, shaping company culture. A spreadsheet can't mediate a workplace dispute effectively.
Yeah, definitely not. And the skilled trades.
The skilled trades, as we noted, highly resistant due to that physical complexity and on-the-spot problem solving. Good news for electricians, plumbers, carpenters.
And what about creative roles? You mentioned entry-level impact.
Right, but creative professionals in strategic and visionary roles seem resilient. While AI might automate some basic creative tasks, the demand for high-level creative vision, a seasoned author's unique voice, a lead designer's aesthetic judgment, a visionary director's storytelling ability, that remains essential for connecting with audiences emotionally. The vision is still human.
So you can really see how your own profession probably exists somewhere on this spectrum. Our sources give lots of examples: susceptible tasks versus resilient human skills across fields like admin, customer service, manufacturing, finance, legal, marketing. and then these more resilient areas like healthcare, trades, strategic leadership.
Exactly.
It's really about understanding which tasks in your job are vulnerable, what AI is capable of, and then focusing on those human skills that truly future-proof you. Now, here's the exciting part, I think. The story isn't just about jobs at risk. It's equally, maybe even more so, about job creation. AI is genuinely spawning entirely new roles we couldn't have conceived of a decade ago. What kind of new careers are bubbling up?
It really is a new frontier opening up. We're seeing a whole taxonomy, you could say, of AI-driven roles emerging. First, you have the obvious ones, the AI-centric technical roles.
Like the builders.
Exactly. AI and machine learning engineers, data scientists, robotics engineers, the people actually architecting this revolution, building the models, the systems.
Then what?
Then you have these fascinating human-AI interface roles. They're almost like translators, bridging the gap between human intention and machine execution. Think prompt engineers. The people who get really good at crafting precise instructions, the prompts, to get generative AI to produce exactly what's needed. Or AI trainers who prepare and curate the data these models learn from. It's a totally new craft.
Interesting.
And critically important are the AI governance and strategy roles. We're talking AI ethicists, AI policy specialists, people ensuring AI is used responsibly, fairly, and AI product managers overseeing the whole life cycle of AI products. These are vital for navigating the societal impact.
Yeah, the guardrails. And finally,
We're seeing AI-enabled domain specialist roles. These are existing professions, but fundamentally redefined by AI.
so taking existing expertise and boosting it with AI.
Precisely, like an AI-assisted healthcare specialist using AI for better diagnostics, or a synthetic media designer creating entirely novel content using generative AI tools. It's about leveraging AI within your established field.
And these new roles, they must require a unique mix of skills, right? Not just tech, not just soft skills.
Exactly. It's a fascinating blend. Take a prompt engineer. They need some technical chops, understanding NLP fundamentals, natural language processing, basically how computers get human language, maybe some data analysis, basic coding.
Okay, the hard skills.
But they also need serious creativity, critical thinking, and incredibly clear communication skills to guide the AI effectively. Or think about an AI ethicist. They need to know about AI governance principles, data privacy laws.
The technical and legal side.
Right, but combined with strong ethical reasoning, systems thinking, the ability to anticipate unintended consequences, it's this hybrid skill set that's becoming so valuable.
This focus on new roles leads us right into that idea of augmentation you mentioned earlier. How the biggest impact isn't always replacement, but helping skilled pros reach totally new levels of performance. How is this actually playing out? Can we see examples?
Oh, it's truly transformative in many fields. Look at healthcare. AI is becoming an indispensable partner. Well, it analyzes medical images, mammograms, CT scans, often with accuracy matching or even exceeding human radiologists. This helps catch diseases earlier.
So the radiologist isn't replaced, they're enhanced.
Exactly. It allows them to focus their expertise on the most complex cases, on patient communication. It's a tool that amplifies their skill.
What else in healthcare?
It's revolutionizing drug discovery. AI can rapidly analyze vast biological data sets to identify potential drug targets, potentially shaving years off development timelines.
Oh,
And for physicians in their daily practice, AI tools like Open Evidence can summarize huge amounts of medical literature instantly. Or tools like Dragon Copilot can transcribe patient visits automatically.
freeing them up from paperwork.
Exactly, freeing them up to focus on the actual human connection and care rather than spending hours on documentation.
What about finance?
Huge impacts there too. AI enhances security, speed, intelligence, just incredible ways. AI systems analyze billions of transactions for fraud detection. Companies like PayPal, MasterCard, they rely on this heavily. They catch patterns humans would likely miss.
Speed and scale.
Precisely. AI trading systems use machine learning to analyze market data, news feeds, even social media sentiment, making adaptive trading decisions faster than any human could.
Right.
And in lending, AI is transforming loan underwriting. It uses alternative data points for faster approvals, more accurate risk assessment, potentially reaching people who were previously locked out of traditional credit.
Okay, and creative industries. We touched on the risks, but what about the augmentation side?
Yeah, it's proving to be a powerful collaborator there too, not just a threat. In filmmaking, AI can assist with script analysis, suggesting plot points or character arcs. It helps with storyboarding, generating complex special effects, even automating some tedious editing tasks.
Interesting. Music.
In music, you have generative AI platforms acting almost like partners for composers, suggesting melodies, harmonies, helping overcome creative blocks, exploring new styles.
So like a co-writer.
Kind of, yeah. And in visual arts, tools like Midjourney or DALL-E let artists rapidly prototype concepts, generate complex imagery from just text prompts. It dramatically speeds up the creative process for artists who know how to direct these tools effectively.
So what's the core takeaway from all these examples? It seems the real sweet spot is at that intersection, doesn't it? Human and machine working together.
Absolutely. The future really belongs to the, let's call them bilingual professionals, those who can translate human goals into machine language and then critically interpret what the machine spits back out.
And this creates a kind of performance multiplier, you said.
Exactly. For already skilled professionals, a skilled radiologist using an AI diagnostic tool isn't just faster, they become more accurate. An expert financial strategist, freed from manual data crunching by AI, can now focus entirely on high-level analysis, strategic foresight, client relationships.
So a new elite emerges, the augmented professionals.
It suggests that people with deep domain expertise plus mastery of the relevant AI tools will likely compound their advantages.
But this redefinition, especially in creative fields, it brings those thorny challenges too, right? Copyright, compensation, originality, when AI learns from existing work.
Huge challenges, yes. Copyright infringement, fair pay for artists whose work train the models, defining originality, even authorship. These are massive ethical and legal questions.
So creative pros don't just need to learn the tools.
No, they also need to be actively involved in shaping the ethical frameworks and rules around how these tools are used. It's a whole new layer of professional responsibility.
Okay, so how do you actually build this bilingual capability we're talking about? It seems to start with a new baseline of essential technical competencies, skills almost everyone will need to some degree.
Right. First up, just AI literacy, a fundamental understanding of what AI is, basics of machine learning, large language models, what they can do, but crucially, what their limitations are.
So you know when to trust it and when to be skeptical.
Exactly. It's like knowing the basics of how your car works, even if you're not a mechanic. You need that foundational knowledge.
Okay, AI literacy. What's next?
Second, data fluency. AI runs on data, so you need to be comfortable with it. Managing data, analyzing it, interpreting it, visualizing it.
And checking it for problems.
Critically important.
Mm-hmm.
Evaluating data quality, spotting potential biases.
Right.
Because bad data in means biased or just plain wrong output from the AI. Garbage in, garbage out still applies.
Got it. Third,
Prompt engineering. We mentioned this before. With generative AI becoming so common, the ability to craft clear, context-rich prompts to guide these models, to get the text, code, or images you actually want, that's becoming a core competency. It's basically learning how to talk to AI effectively.
the art of the ask. Okay. Fourth,
For roles leaning more technical, programming and analytics skills remain critical. Proficiency in languages like Python and R, database querying with SQL, these are still the bedrock languages of data science and analytics. And finally, number 5, domain-specific AI tools. This means getting familiar with the specific AI applications that are transforming your particular field.
so not just general AI, but the tools for my job.
Exactly. Whether it's an AI-powered customer analytics platform if you're in marketing or an AI-driven risk modeling software if you're in finance, you don't necessarily need to be an AI developer, but you absolutely need to understand and be able to use the tools reshaping your daily work.
Okay, those technical skills let you work with AI. But you also talked about the uniquely human power skills.
Yeah.
The things that give us a durable competitive advantage over AI. This is where we double down on being human, right?
Absolutely. This is crucial. Top of the list, critical thinking and problem solving. Analyzing information objectively, questioning assumptions, especially the assumptions baked into AI models, identifying logical fallacies, spotting bias in AI outputs.
And tackling the messy problems.
And solving complex, unstructured problems that AI, frankly, just can't handle on its own yet.
Okay. And creativity and innovation. You said AI is good at pattern.
Right. AI excels at optimizing existing patterns, recombining known elements. But human creativity, that original thought, generating truly novel ideas born from unique human experience and insight, that's the ultimate source of genuine innovation. AI can help you iterate, refine, but it probably won't give you that initial breakthrough spark.
Makes sense.
What else?
Emotional intelligence and empathy. We keep coming back to this. It's the bedrock of effective human interaction. Perceiving, understanding, managing your own emotions, and influencing others positively. Essential for leadership, teamwork, negotiation, client relationships. You just can't outsource empathy.
True. And communication and collaboration. Maybe even more important now.
I think so. As workflows get more complex, with human AI teams becoming the norm, the ability to communicate with clarity, with nuance, to tell compelling stories with data, not just present numbers, and to collaborate effectively with both humans and AI tools, that's paramount. You need to explain what the AI did, why it matters, what the limitations are.
Right. And the last one, you called it a meta skill.
Yes, perhaps the most crucial meta skill for this entire era. Adaptability and learning agility.
The willingness to just keep learning.
Exactly. The willingness and ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Having a proactive mindset for continuous skill development, embracing ambiguity, not being afraid of change, and being able to quickly acquire new skills. That's the ultimate key to long-term career resilience. If you can learn fast, you're always going to be relevant.
So it's really not an either situation with skills, is it? Tech skills or power skills. The most resilient professionals seem to blend both. Can you give us a sense of what that dual focus looks like in practice? How do they combine?
Sure. Think about data analysis and insight generation. You need the hard skills, maybe Python or SQL, to crunch the numbers.
Right.
But then you need critical thinking to question a potentially misleading correlation the data throws up. And you need storytelling skills to present the nuanced insight to decision makers in a way that actually drives a strategic shift. The AI gives you the raw material, you shape it into meaning and action.
Okay, that makes sense. Another example.
How about strategic decision making? You'd use your AI literacy and maybe some predictive analytics tools to model different market scenarios.
The tech side.
Yes. But then you apply human judgment, ethical reasoning, and systems thinking to weigh the options. AI might show you the most profitable path, but human judgment is needed to balance profit with, say, brand reputation or long-term sustainability. AI won't tell you the right thing to do, morally speaking.
That's a key distinction. And for innovation.
For innovation and creative development, you'd absolutely use generative AI tools for brainstorming, for creating variations, for speeding things up.
Leveraging the tool.
But you blend that with your own human creativity, divergent thinking, maybe some structured problem-solving techniques to refine those AI-generated concepts into something truly innovative, something uniquely yours that the AI alone couldn't have conceived. You're the director, the curator, the visionary.
Okay, so beyond skills, we need a mindset shift too. You talked about moving beyond just resilience, just bouncing back. You want to actually get stronger from the disruption.
Exactly. This is where Nassim Nicholas Taleb's concept of antifragility becomes really relevant.
Antifragile. Explain that a bit.
Well, resilience is about resisting shocks and staying the same. Antifragility describes systems or people or careers that don't just resist shocks, they actually gain strength and capability from them. They benefit from volatility.
So, in a stable world, being resilient is maybe enough, but in this era of constant technological disruption.
Resilience isn't quite enough. You need to find ways to actually thrive on the change.
So an anti-fragile professional sees AI not just as a threat to kind of weather or survive,
Right.
but as a beneficial stressor, something
Yeah.
that forces positive adaptation,
Right.
forces you to learn new skills, makes you better, like a muscle getting stronger from lifting weights.
That's a great analogy. Exactly. The stressor leads to growth.
How do you apply that practically, though? It sounds good in theory.
Well, one practical way Taleb suggests is his barbell strategy. You combine something very safe and stable with something high risk, high reward.
A barbell, two ends.
Right. So for your career, this might look like maintaining your stable primary job, your safety net, while dedicating, say, 10–15% of your time to exploring something new and potentially high growth. Maybe a side project in an emerging AI field, or just experimental learning, trying out new tools.
So you protect your downside, but keep upside potential.
Exactly. It allows you to explore, to potentially benefit hugely if one of those experiments takes off, but without risking everything if it fails. You can swing for the fences on one end because the other end is secure.
Okay, I like that. And the core engine for building this anti-fragile career, you said, is continuous learning driven by curiosity.
Intellectual curiosity,
Yeah.
that innate desire to ask why, to understand how things work, to explore new ideas even if they're not directly part of your job description right now.
It's what makes you want to play with a new AI tool before you're told you have to.
Precisely. It's that inner drive to just Know more, understand more, proactive exploration.
And this curiosity needs to be paired with a growth mindset, right? That belief that your abilities aren't fixed.
Absolutely essential. The belief that you can develop your abilities through effort, through practice, through learning from mistakes. It reframes challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to get better.
So I don't know becomes I don't know yet.
Exactly. I don't know is an invitation to learn, not a dead end.
How do you cultivate that practically?
Well, consciously ask more questions. Get comfortable admitting when you don't know something. See it as that learning opportunity. Diversify your interests. Read widely. Learn from others. Seek out mentors or peers doing interesting things. And formally commit to learning schedule time for online courses on platforms like Coursera, LinkedIn Learning. Attend workshops, maybe pursue relevant certifications. Just make learning a regular practice.
And in this really dynamic job market, your personal brand, how you present yourself, needs to signal this future readiness too, doesn't it? Not just list past jobs.
Absolutely. Your brand needs to scream adaptability.
How do you do that?
Well, position yourself explicitly as a human AI collaborator. So instead of just saying, I managed a marketing campaign, maybe frame it as, I led the strategy for a marketing campaign, leveraging AI for predictive audience segmentation, which then enabled my team to focus their time on high-impact creative development.
So showing how you use the tool strategically.
Exactly. It shows you're not just using it, you're directing it to achieve better outcomes.
What else?
Showcase your learning agility. Use platforms like LinkedIn or even internal company channels. Share insights from a course you just finished. Talk about an experiment you ran with a new AI tool. Offer thoughtful comments on industry trends involving AI. It signals you're proactive, engaged, constantly evolving.
And networking differently?
Network with a future focus. Actively build connections with other people who are forward-thinking, who are exploring AI. Join relevant online communities, participate in discussions. It expands your knowledge, sure, but it also positions you within an innovative network. It's about building your future ecosystem.
Ultimately, then, it sounds like your mindset, curious, adaptable, anti-fragile, is maybe a more powerful predictor of long-term success than any single static skill set you might have today.
I truly believe that. The meta skill of being able to learn and adapt, that's your most durable asset in the age of AI.
Okay, so let's get super practical now. How do you put all this into action right now? We've talked big picture, we've talked mindset. What's the very first concrete step someone listening should take to start becoming an AI-powered professional?
Start by auditing your own role. Seriously, set aside 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and list out the 10 to 15 core activities that actually make up your job responsibilities.
And be specific, right? Not just manage projects.
Get granular, exactly. Instead of manage projects, write down things like create weekly status reports, negotiate resource allocation with other teams, resolve client escalations, break it down into tangible tasks.
Okay, got my list. Then what?
Then map each of those tasks to one of 4 quadrants in what we can call the human-AI collaboration matrix. This isn't just theory, it's a really powerful diagnostic tool. Forces you to look at your job through this AI lens.
Okay, what are the 4 quadrants?
First, automate. These are tasks with low complexity and low need for human touch. Simple, repetitive stuff, like generating that standard weekly sales summary from your CRM data. AI can likely do this.
Got it. Automate.
Second, augment. High complexity, but still relatively low human touch needed. These are complex analytical tasks where AI can massively boost your speed or capability, but you still need to direct it. Like using AI to analyze thousands of customer reviews to quickly identify common complaint themes.
Okay, augment. So AI helps, but you guide.
Right. Third, evaluate. These might be low complexity tasks, but they require high human touch or judgment. Things where human context, nuance, or empathy is critical, like deciding on the final wording and tone of a really sensitive client email, even if drafting the basic points was simple.
Evaluate. Human judgment is key.
Exactly. And fourth, lid. High complexity and high human touch. These are the tasks where your unique human strengths are the primary value drivers. Things like developing a truly innovative new service offering, mentoring a junior team member, complex strategic negotiations.
Read where humans shine. Okay, I've mapped my tasks. Now what?
Now, analyze your mix. Where does most of your time fall? If you're spending, say, 70% of your time in the automate quadrant, well, that's a sign you're potentially vulnerable.
Right.
The goal then becomes to consciously redesign your role. How can you start delegating those automate tasks to AI tools? How can you become more effective at the augment tasks by leveraging AI? And critically, how can you reinvest the time you save into those high-value evaluate and lead quadrants?
So it's about proactively reshaping your job before it gets reshaped for you.
That's the essence of it. Take control of the transition.
That's a really clear framework for action. Beyond just auditing, though, what are some practical ways listeners can start integrating specific AI tools into their daily workflow, like starting tomorrow?
Okay, lots of ways. For research and synthesis, think about using AI research assistants. Tools like Elicit can help extract key findings from academic papers. Or just use ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot to synthesize your meeting notes into a structured report. Or summarize a long article. It's like having a super efficient research assistant on call.
Okay, that saves time. What about content creation and communication?
Use generative AI as your creative partner. Seriously. Ask it to brainstorm ideas for a presentation. Get it to generate a first draft of an outline or even a first version of a complex email or report.
So it does the first pass.
Exactly. Your role shifts from that blank page creation, which can be daunting, to refining, editing, adding your strategic insights, perfecting the message. This even works for tough things like drafting initial versions of constructive performance evaluations. It can give you objective starting points.
Interesting application. What else?
In task and project management, many modern platforms are now embedding AI features. Look for tools that can automatically suggest task assignments based on past projects, summarize long discussion threads in your project channel, or even predict potential delays based on current progress. It takes some of that admin overhead off your shoulders.
Nice. And for learning.
And for learning and skill development, use AI as a personalized tutor. Ask it to explain a complex concept in simple terms. Get it to create a study plan for a new skill you want to learn. Have it quiz you on material you've just covered. It's like having a patient, knowledgeable mentor available 24/7.
Okay, lots of practical uses, but with great power
Yeah.
comes great responsibility, right? Using AI effectively, especially at work, surely requires a disciplined and ethical approach. What are the key best practices there?
Absolutely critical. First and foremost, data privacy and security. This is non-negotiable. Never input sensitive, confidential, or personally identifiable information client data, internal strategy docs, employee PII into public AI tools unless your organization has explicitly vetted and approved that tool and process.
Assume it's not private.
Let's assume anything you put into a public model could potentially be used for its future training or seen by others. Always err on the side of extreme caution with company or client data.
Okay, huge point. What's next?
Second, maintain human oversight and accountability. Always. Treat AI-generated output like a first draft from a very smart, very fast, but potentially naive or inexperienced intern. You are ultimately responsible for the accuracy, the implications, the quality of the final work.
Because AI can mess up.
Because AI can hallucinate, make things up convincingly, or just make errors based on flawed data or algorithms. You must review, verify, and take ownership. Don't just blindly copy-paste.
Got it. Human in the loop.
Third, actively mitigate bias. Be constantly aware that AI models can inherit and even amplify biases present in their training data. Critically evaluate AI outputs for potential fairness issues, stereotypes, or discriminatory patterns, especially when using AI in sensitive areas like hiring, promotion recommendations, or customer segmentation. You have to be the human filter for fairness.
That's a big responsibility. Fourth,
Practice transparency and acknowledgement. Be open with your colleagues, your manager, your clients about how you're using AI to enhance your work. It builds trust. Don't try to pass off AI-generated work as entirely your own. And, where appropriate, like in research papers or reports, formally cite your use of specific AI tools just as you'd cite any other source.
honesty is the best policy. And lastly,
And finally, always adhere to organizational policies. Your company likely has, or is developing, specific rules and guidelines on AI use. Follow them. They're there to ensure compliance with security protocols, legal requirements, and ethical standards specific to your industry and organization. Don't go rogue.
okay, that's a really solid set of guardrails. So wrapping this up, this deep dive has made it incredibly clear, I think. The age of AI isn't some distant future event we can just passively wait for.
Not at all.
It's here now, and it demands active strategic engagement from every single one of us.
The path forward, as we've discussed, is really defined by becoming that augmented professional. Someone who doesn't try to compete with AI, but learns to command it. Leveraging it skillfully to automate the routine, augment your core capabilities, and free yourself up to double down on that uniquely human work. The complex problem solving, the strategic thinking, the ethical judgment, the empathetic connection.
We've really tried to give you the framework today, doing that clear-eyed audit of your own role, making that dual-focus commitment to developing both the technical skills and those human-centric power skills.
And cultivating that anti-fragile mindset.
And cultivating that anti-fragile mindset, yeah. To not just survive change, but actually thrive on it, get stronger because of it.
And remember that quote from MIT economist David Otters. The future of work isn't really a forecasting exercise. It's a design exercise. You have agency here. You get to shape it.
You now have the blueprint for that design. The choice isn't whether AI will change your career path. It absolutely will. The choice is whether you will be the architect of that change for yourself.
The time to start designing, start building, start adapting is right now. Keep learning, keep experimenting, keep adapting, and yeah, keep diving deep into what's next.